my name is Danielle Halcyon, and I'm a 5th grade teacher at Mechanicsville Elementary. Today I'm going to show you how we multiply whole numbers and fractions using a number line. So let's read our first problem. At the swim meet, a team of 6 swimmers competed in a relay. They each swam 1/4 of a mile. What is the total distance the team covered? So let's look for what's important in the problem. I can see that on the team there are 6 swimmers. So I'm going to record the important information. I also see in the problem that each one of those swimmers swam for 1/4 of a mile. And it looks like the question is asking us to find the total distance that the team covered. And I included the label of in miles because that's the unit of measure that is used for the distance that each person swam. So let's look at what we have so far. 6 swimmers are each swimming 1/4 of a mile. And I know that that tells me that I can do multiplication to figure out the total distance in miles. So I'm going to set up an equation. And then I'm going to use a number line to help us solve the problem. So I'm going to look at the fraction, and the denominator is fourths. So that tells me that I'm going to split up my number line into fourths. And one thing that's important to know about number lines is that when you're partitioning, it has to be into equal parts. So I'm going to use, in each whole number, I'm going to use my midway point as a reference point to help me split it up. And then I can go from there to further divide it into fourths. Okay, and then with this problem, I'm going to go ahead and label, and I can also record some equivalents that might be helpful. I know that 2/4 is the same thing as 1/2. I also know that 4/4 is the same thing as 1. As I continue into the space between the 1 and the 2, I'm going to label these as mixed numbers. So 1 and 2/4 could be the same thing as 1 and 1/2. Now that I have a number line that is labeled and I have all of my information set up here, I can actually go ahead to solve the problem. So I know that 6 swimmers each swam 1/4 of a mile. So what I'm going to do is use the number line to jump by fourths 6 times. So I'm going to start here at 0, and that's my first jump. So this is my first swimmer, and I'm going to label that as the first person. I'm going to jump 6 total times, and each time, label that as one of our swimmers. So I'm looking for the total distance that the team covered, and I've jumped 1/4 6 times, which has taken me to 1 and 2/4, or 1 and 1/2. So the total distance in miles that the team covered is 1 and 1/2. Let's take a look at another problem. This one is a little bit different as it's going to include a mixed number. Becca is baking 4 batches of muffins for a school breakfast. She adds 1 1/3 cups of blueberries to each batch. How many cups of blueberries are needed in all? So this is going to be similar in the setup of the equation. Let's look for the important information in the problem. It looks like Becca is baking 4 batches of muffins. So I'll record that here. For each batch of muffins, she's going to need 1 1/3 cup of blueberries. And just like in our last problem, I know that this is going to be able to be solved using multiplication, as she's making multiple batches with the same ingredients in each batch. And we're looking for how many cups of blueberries are needed in all, or total. So notice that our number line this time is longer as we are dealing with larger numbers. And this is a personal preference, but I think that it's easier if you're using a number line to multiply a whole number times a mixed number if you convert it into an improper fraction. So I'm going to take 1 1/3 and make it into an improper fraction. So I know that 1 is the same thing as 3/3, and I'm going to add that other third to it, and that will give us a total of 4/3. So 4/3 is going to be the same thing as 1 1/3 cup of blueberries, but it's going to be a little bit easier for us to use. So the last time we partitioned our number line into fourths because the denominator was 4, this time we've got a denominator of 3, so in between each of the wholes, we're going to split up into thirds. And I'm going to try to make sure that they are equally spaced. And I'm looking for the total number of cups of blueberries in all, so I'm going to jump on our number line. I'm going to make 4 jumps by 4/3 on the number line because she's making 4 batches of muffins with the same amount of ingredients in each batch. So I'm going to start down here at the number line at 0 and count by 4/3. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be the first batch of muffins. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second batch. And continue doing the same until we've done all 4 batches. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And label those as the third and fourth batches. So what we're looking for is how many cups of blueberries are needed in all, so I'm going to see where on the number line I ended. I didn't label them this time since it was such an extensive number line, but I can see that we're just past the 5, and I know we're counting by thirds, so this is going to be 5 1/3, making the answer to our question 5 1/3 total cups of blueberries for all of the batches. So I hope that you found this helpful. This is how to multiply fractions and whole numbers using a number line.